In this video, I'll be giving you an in-depth look at my Notion template designed specifically for comedians. It features a bit manager where you can capture, organize, and develop new material, a set list builder where you can pull jokes directly into the sets, as well as an area to review how shows have gone. There is a bookings dashboard to track upcoming gigs, as well as pursue new events and shows, as well as a networking tool to keep important industry contacts safe and top of mind. And if you would like access to this template, links are down below in the description. Hey friends, welcome back to Notion Upgrades. If you're new here, my name's Sam. I'm a full-time Notion consultant who helps individuals and businesses realize the potential of Notion, and on this channel I share the ideas, solutions and templates that have come about from working closely with paying clients. So last month I was on a call with a new client with a guy called Pete, and on that call he told me that he was actually a comedian, and amongst other things he needed a workspace that would assist his goals in comedy. So across about 2.5 weeks with multiple meetings, edits and revisions, here's what we came up with. So here we are at the homepage for Notion for Comedians. It doubles as a all-in-one dashboard, so we can see all of the pages nestled within from a high-level perspective. So what I'd like to show you here is what each of the pages does, and I'm going to take an action-orientated approach. So this will be how you would be interacting with the template. So the first section we have here is the inbox area, and we have 5 or 6 Notion buttons that we can use. We also can click into the title to come to the inbox page itself. And so this is a dedicated page to capture new information into the system as frictionlessly as possible. So we have a button for new bit, which if I press opens up the bits database, and here I can capture new ideas for jokes. So let's say I have a joke about Peter Pan. I can capture it like so and click out, and now it's been sent to my bits database. The same for new set will open up the sets database. I can capture new contacts. So for example, let's say I capture the details of an important booker. I can also capture new bookings. So let's say there's a new comedy show called The Comic Corner that I want to capture details about. I can do so just like that. And there's also a button that takes us to the social tracker, which I'll show you later on. So the bits manager here is where all of your jokes will be stored. And again, we can click into the title to come to the bits dashboard. And we have multiple views along this database. So the first is all of the jokes sorted by when they were most recently updated. And so essentially each joke is its own page with its own properties. So for example, this Peter Pan joke I can open up, and in the page body I can start writing new ideas about wherever it is I have for the Peter Pan joke. What I can also do is I can take my most recent idea and copy and paste it like so, and put it into latest edits. So now when I'm looking at all of the jokes from a high level perspective, I can see what my most recent thoughts were about that joke. I can also tag and give it a status. So the tags is a way of structuring the jokes for when you put them into sets. So you can structure them for when you're going to be doing them, as in openers and closers, or maybe by a particular theme of the joke. So you might have a section in your show about dating, or a section about drugs. So let's just say, for example, Peter Pan is for childhood. And then status just lets us know, well, the status of the joke. So by default, all jokes are set to active, but we can favorite jokes, we can put them on the back burner, and we can even archive them. And so going along, we have some other views. We can group the jokes by tags, we can group them by status, and then we have this bits matrix view, which is probably one of the more helpful views. And this allows us to see both forms of groupings. And so, for example, if we were to have that Peter Pan joke, which would sit within the childhood here, if we hadn't tagged it before, by default we would find it in the active section with no tags. And nice and quickly we can say, okay, this is for the childhood theme, and put it here. And let's say it's a favorite, so we now can drag it into the childhood, into the favorite status. And just like so, the Peter Pan is now given the status of favorite and a tag of childhood. So once you start capturing some of your jokes, you want to start turning them into actual sets that you can perform. And that's where we can come down to the comedy sets area. And this list here is just going to give us an overview of our current sets and how many performances they've been put in. But we can also click into the set to get a look at the comedy set dashboard. So if we would like to create a new set, we can either come here and hit new, or in the inbox area we can hit new set straight from here. But just for the sake of explaining things, I'll do it from inside here. So we'll create a new set. That's going to open up the sets database, and it's going to load a template for us. So let's say at the moment I've got a 5-minute set and a 10-minute set. So let's say I want to create a 3-minute set, and I have a couple things to look at. The first section is the set list itself, and this is where I can come and choose the bits that are going to go into this set, and this is where we're putting straight from the bits database. So for example, let's say I want to open on the McDonald's Big Mac joke. I want to include that Peter Pan joke because I really like it, and also the Kids Magician joke will go along well with that. And let's say we need a closing, so the each their own joke, like so. And now I've checked them off, all I have to do is come down and hit this finalize set button, and what that's going to do is clear the checks but also relate the bits to this particular set. The next thing I can do is come over to the second view, which is where I can order the bits. So here I've got the bits I've chosen, and I can nice and easy just drag the bits into position of what sequence I'd like to perform them in. So let's say I want to go from Big Macs to Kid Magicians to Peter Pan to each their own. If I don't want to do that, I can even go to the also group section, which is just going to by default group them by their tags, and inside each of the tags I can also sequence the jokes for the order I'd like to do them. So let's say I've finished my set and I've come off stage and I've got some notes about how each of the jokes did, or how the overall set went. Here's what I can do. So let's say for example I have a thought about an individual joke. Straight from here in the latest edits I can write some notes. So maybe I might say drop the last line because it's not landing. Or I might have some thoughts about the overall set. So I can come here and hit new update, and that's just going to give me a bullet point with an @ mention of today's date. And then from here I can say great set, add more to the childhood theme. And what I can even do is copy and paste this and put it into the latest updates. And now when I look into my comedy sets, I can see all of my current sets, and I can also see their latest updates. So you've developed some material and you've structured them into a set. Now it's time to actually get some gigs booked, and this is where we can go to the comedy bookings dashboard. So again, here on the home page we've got an overview of what's inside, but we can click to the title and we can see we've got a pipeline section here, which is for when we're trying to pursue new shows or events that we haven't yet contacted. Then we've got a bookings section here for when we've actually been booked on, and this is to track when the shows are happening. And then finally we've got a venue section just to have all of our information about a particular venue you might be performing at there ready to go. So let's say we've got that comic corner that we captured from earlier. We can open up the page in a side peek view, and now we can add some information. So let's say we actually know that the booker for this event is that important booker that we also captured. We can go here and attach that instantaneously. Or for example, there might be times where we don't know who the booker is, but we have the info email address, or we have the booking URL from the show. We can add these items in here and here. Now the next thing I need to do is actually reach out to this event. So what I can do if it is a booker that I know, I can go straight from here, and if I have their email already inside, I can click this email icon and it's going to take me to my email client of choice. And once I've contacted them, I can mark it off as contacted today, and I can change the status to contacted, which you'll now see on the Kanban board has moved me into the contacted section. And then I might receive an email saying I've been accepted, so I can drag and drop this into the accepted section. And then finally I might receive an email saying that I've been booked on, telling me the time and date. And what I can do is come to the card itself and hit booked, and let's say it's for next Friday, and let's say the starting time is roughly about 10 p.m. Now I can log all this information, and I can also now drag the comic corner into the booked, and you notice when I drag it into booked, it's going to disappear from this pipeline view, and now it's inside the bookings, and I can see I've got a performance in 8 days, and it's for June the 2nd at 10 p.m. From here I can also add some more information, so maybe this is for the Comedy Cellar in New York City, and I might also say that I know that they've asked me for about a 3 to 5 minute set, so I can go to my set lists and grab that 3-minute set that I've created, so I'm now nice and ready for the set. I can also see this in a booking calendar form, so I can see what gigs I have on what days, and I also can see all of my past performances. So for example, let's say the Giggle Centre I performed at 22 days ago and it went really well. Well, now I can know I might want to reach back out to the Giggle Centre to see if they'll have me on again. And to do this for repeat bookings, all I have to do is hit these dots here, duplicate everything, and then open up this new Giggle Centre, and I can call it number 2. I can change the status to contact. I can clear both the contacted and the booked dates, and I can clear the notes. And now when I go back up to my pipeline, I can see I've got to contact the Giggle Centre, take 2. So now you've started doing the circuit and the comedy gigs, and you've probably come across some industry people, and you want to keep their contacts safe and be reminded of them. Well, that's where finally the networking tool can come in handy. So it's at the bottom here, and this view here is all of your radar contacts, which essentially means they've been checked off as people you want to keep top of mind. But again, we can click into the title and come to the dashboard itself, and we have 2 sections. So we have the radar contacts at the top, and this is going to show us the name of the person, any notes we've made about them, when we contacted them and how long ago it was, and then the radar check. We also have at the bottom all of our contacts sorted by alphabetical with other details, and we can click into any of these names and look at all of the details we have logged for them. And we also have another view for our bookers, so this is separating the bookers from the rest of the contacts, so we can always keep these separated and be aware of them. And this is where the social tracker comes in really handy. So we can access the social tracker by toggling down the navigation and the subpages and find it here. But again, also we can find it in the inbox or right on the home page by hitting Open Social Tracker. And what this page allows us to do is quickly log any time we have met with someone that are one of our radar contacts. So for example, let's say we have this important booker that we captured earlier, and we know that we want to contact them, and let's say we do. What we can do is we can come in here on our phone, open the social tracker, write any notes about our conversation. So let's say they want me to follow up with them. You can write that here, check off contacted, log the meeting. That's going to clear the checkbox, and now when we come back up to the networking tool, you'll see, as long as the important booker is checked in our radars, we can now see that important booker said follow up with them soon, and I've contacted them today, so I know I've done that. What I can also do from here is set a time that I want to contact them in the future. So if I know I want to follow up with them, I can say let's make sure I follow up with them at least by next Friday. So now I'll see important booker, contact in 7 days. So that's Notion for comedians in all of its entirety. I hope you can see that it will be super useful for anyone trying to pursue a career in comedy. Again, the link is down in the description if you want to take a look. And if you found this video useful, consider checking out my other videos about Notion and subscribing. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next one.